Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
After the events at last week's WWE SmackDown, Nick Aldis may be in trouble. Unlike Adam Pearce on Raw, Aldis takes a more authoritative approach to handling the Blue Brand's roster, keeping the show better organized. Whenever things get out of hand, Aldis never shies away from taking strict action. This was on display last week when the SmackDown general manager suspended Drew McIntyre indefinitely after he interfered in the main event match between Cody Rhodes and Aleister Black. The Scottish Warrior appeared out of nowhere and took out the referee with the Claymore. Nick Aldis came out and immediately suspended the Scotsman for his actions. While McIntyre tried making his case to the GM, Aldis stood firm in his decision. The Scottish Warrior was escorted out of the building as he and Aldis got into a heated verbal altercation. While McIntyre complied and left the arena, it is highly unlikely that he would let this go. The former WWE champion recently took to X to threaten the SmackDown general manager. The Scotsman believes there is a conspiracy against him by the management, and given the setbacks he has suffered in the last couple of years, his belief delusion certainly makes sense. The frustration has peaked for McIntyre, who may take it out on Nick Aldis for his unfair treatment, while the national treasure took the necessary action to maintain the integrity of the show. He could suffer serious repercussions at the hands of Drew McIntyre. The suspension might not stop the Scotsman from appearing on this week's SmackDown and brutally attacking Nick Aldis. That said, this is only speculation for now. Nick Aldis could make his in-ring debut in WWE soon if the storyline between Aldis and McIntyre turns physical. It could lead to the national treasure finally lacing up his wrestling boots once again. The 39-year-old has not participated in in-ring competition since signing with WWE. His last wrestling match came in October 2023 at a CW Appalachian Championship Wrestling. If Drew McIntyre decides to provoke Nick Aldis, the latter may be forced to make his return to the squared circle against the Scotsman. McIntyre and Aldis could have a compelling rivalry that may prove to be a much-needed breath of fresh air on SmackDown. After failing to win the undisputed WWE Championship despite multiple attempts, a high-profile feud with the national treasure could help McIntyre regain some momentum. That said, nothing has been confirmed yet. It remains to be seen how this storyline develops in the coming weeks. WWE SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis has been one of the most talked-about authority figures in professional wrestling over the past year. Since taking over the Blue Brand, Aldis has impressed fans with his commanding presence, professionalism, and ability to handle major stars like Roman Reigns, LA Knight, and Kevin Owens with authority. But now, recent reports and insider whispers suggest that Aldis might be in huge trouble within WWE, with his position on the line and major backstage tension brewing. So, what exactly is happening with the British star who was once seen as the future of WWE management? Let's break down all the details surrounding this shocking situation that has both fans and superstars buzzing. A rising star now under fire when Triple H introduced Nick Aldis as the new general manager of SmackDown in late 2023. It was seen as a power move. Aldis, a respected former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, brought legitimacy, charisma, and a real sense of authority to the role. His calm yet firm demeanor quickly won over the WWE Universe, and for months, he was praised for keeping order during chaotic bloodline segments and high-profile rivalries. But behind the curtain, things might not be as smooth as they appear. According to several insiders, Aldis has reportedly clashed with certain higher-ups and even a few top WWE superstars over creative decisions, backstage politics, and how certain storylines were being managed. One major source of tension reportedly stems from Aldis' creative input. He's known to have a strong wrestling mind and a firm opinion on booking directions, but in WWE, that kind of independence doesn't always sit well, especially when decisions ultimately rest with Triple H and his creative team, the backstage power. Multiple reports have hinted that Aldis has been pushing for more autonomy on SmackDown, including wanting to spotlight certain underused stars like Carmelo Hayes, Santos Escobar, and even Sheamus, who recently made a return. However, these ideas have allegedly clashed with Triple H's long-term storytelling plans, which prioritize ongoing feuds like Roman Reigns' bloodline drama and LA Knight's push as a top babyface. This creative friction has reportedly caused some discomfort backstage, with one WWE insider even claiming that Aldis' assertive nature has rubbed certain producers the wrong way, adding fuel to the fire. Aldis is said to have had a heated discussion with a top WWE star, believed by some to be Kevin Owens, over an unplanned segment during a recent taping. The altercation didn't get physical, but witnesses described it as tense and uncomfortable. If true, this wouldn't be the first time a WWE authority figure has had real-life issues with talent. However, given Aldis' recent rise within the company, it's surprising how quickly things seem to have escalated. Triple H reportedly not pleased. Triple H, who has been overseeing all of WWE's creative direction since taking full control from Vince McMahon, is reportedly keeping a close eye on Aldis' behavior and performance. While the game has long respected Aldis' wrestling background and leadership skills, sources claim that he's become frustrated with some of Aldis' off-script comments and behind-the-scenes decisions. Aldis' name came up during recent internal meetings about WWE's brand presentation and on-screen authority balance, with some executives suggesting that Aldis may be overshadowing the talent instead of enhancing them. One source reportedly told Ringside News, Nick Aldis is very professional, but WWE is still a system, and sometimes he forgets that. He's coming off like he's running SmackDown for real and not just playing the role. While that may sound like a compliment in some ways, it's also a warning. WWE is protective of its hierarchy, and if an on-screen figure starts to exert too much real-life control or influence, it can lead to trouble. Fan support remains strong despite the internal friction. Fans have overwhelmingly supported Aldis since his WWE debut. His professionalism, sharp promos, and no-nonsense attitude have made him one of the most respected authority figures since Teddy Long and William Regal. Social media has been filled with comments praising Aldis' work, with one fan writing on X, formerly Twitter, "Nick Aldis feels like a real GM. He doesn't play games. He doesn't get flustered. He just makes things happen. SmackDown feels organized again." Another added, "If WWE lets Aldis go, that would be a huge mistake. He's the best thing to happen to SmackDown's management in years." This strong fan backing could play in Aldis' favor, especially if Triple H sees the value in keeping him on screen even while addressing the backstage concerns. Could Aldis be written off TV? Rumors are now swirling that WWE might write Aldis off TV temporarily, either as part of a storyline suspension or due to internal decisions. One scenario reportedly discussed would see Aldis being attacked or removed from power by a heel faction, possibly involving Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline, leading to a major power vacuum on SmackDown. If this happens, it could serve two purposes: advancing a storyline while allowing WWE to reassess Aldis' backstage role. However, there's also speculation that this could all be part of a larger WWE plan. Some insiders believe that Triple H could be building toward a GM versus authority power struggle angle, similar to the days of Shane McMahon and Stephanie McMahon. If so, all this current trouble could actually be setting the stage for one of WWE's biggest off-season storylines heading into the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season. Nick Aldis response so far. Aldis himself has remained professional and tight-lipped about the rumors. He's continued posting positive messages on social media, focusing on SmackDown's weekly success and promoting WWE's live events. In one recent interview, he said, "My job is to make SmackDown the best show in wrestling, and I take that responsibility seriously. Everything else is just noise." That statement alone shows the class and composure Aldis is known for. But it also hints that he's aware of the whispers and is choosing to stay focused rather than engage in drama. If history has taught WWE fans anything, it's that backstage tension doesn't always spell doom. Sometimes it's the fuel that ignites a great storyline. Aldis is too talented, too respected, and too valuable a personality to be easily replaced. However, if the reported issues continue, WWE might look for alternatives. Some insiders have speculated that Adam Pearce, the Raw general manager, could appear on SmackDown to restore order, setting up a potential brand rivalry or authority. Others believe that Triple H may use this as a test for Aldis, to see how he handles the pressure and whether he can adapt to WWE's strict creative system. Nick Aldis' situation in WWE is a fascinating one, a mix of real-life professionalism, internal politics, and potential storyline opportunity. While he may be in huge trouble right now, that doesn't necessarily mean his time is up. If anything, this moment could define Aldis' WWE career. How he navigates this challenge, whether by smoothing things over with management or embracing a new on-screen role, will determine if he becomes a long-term fixture in WWE or just another short-lived authority figure. For now, all eyes are on SmackD.